The life and times of Fergie Ferguson is who we're going to recognize today. A sports hero, and during the Second World War, a war hero. Fergie was born June 21st in 1919 in Jacksonville. His parents were Forrest Sr. and Frances. His two siblings, Aurora, born 1916, and Wilbur, born in 1921, also were from Jacksonville. Here was the two boys, Fergie on the left and his brother Wilbur on the right. Here are all three of the children after they moved from Jacksonville to Jensen. Fergie grew up in Jensen and attended the elementary school there. The Jensen Arch and the Jensen Train Depot were all familiar sights for the Ferguson family. In 1934, Fergie started attending the only high school in the county, Stuart High School, located on East 4th Street, later named East Ocean Boulevard. With so many high school athletic programs at the school, the family decided to move to Stuart so Fergie would be closer to his school. The family became very familiar with all the places and businesses in downtown. The Ferguson family settled into a two-story house on Camden Avenue. It was right across from the Knapp Apartments. Football was Fergie's big sports love. By 1936, his brother Wilbur also was on the SHS team. Their football coach was J. Fred Evans. It wasn't just Fergie, but all of the players mattered. In a November 1936 game against Lake Worth, player Elmer Rico was confused if he was to play or not, and so he didn't go to Lake Worth. The coach sent for Herbert Bruner to go and get Rico. Stuart tried to delay the game as much as possible. With the game finally started, it was Fergie who stated he was injured in the very first play, so further delaying the game. This allowed Bruner and Rico to arrive and get set up for the game. It proved to be a very successful trick by Fergie to help his classmates. The school had not had a winning football season in many years, and that was about to change. In 1937, the school won the Southeast Coast Conference, their first championship. Many contributed success to Fergie. He was that curly-haired giant, star player who indeed inspired the other players. Fergie completed all his studies and graduated on May 27, 1938. It was a class of 20 fellow students. Stuart's golden son, who everyone felt would accomplish great things. He attended the University of Florida in Gainesville and played college football now. Ferguson continued the Ferguson tradition and played center for the Stuart High School. The coach considered Wilbur a very wiry player. His skill as a Gator player was his ability to play offensive and defensive end positions. The Gator football team, with all its strong players, seemed unbeatable. That was especially true October 19, 1939 game against Boston College. It was a strong and hard game, but University of Florida defeated Boston 7-0. In the 1939-40 season, Fergie managed to catch 43 passes. In 1941, he made a complete touchdown pass of 74 yards, the longest on record. It remained unbroken until 1954. Fergie was named All-Southeastern Conference Player, with honorable mention for All-American in the nation in 1941. Not playing football, Fergie lettered in track and field events. He played on the University of Florida's baseball team also. In 1940, he won the Collegiate State Boxing Championship. In 1942, he won the National AAU Javelin Throw Championship. He loved playing sports. Didn't matter what it was, he was involved. Whatever he attempted in sports, Fergie excelled at. Playing football the best, and he knew what were good plays. His long arms and large hands, he was a natural at catching passes. In 1941, when UF beat the University of Miami in their home stadium of Miami, the local Miami Herald had to print, "Florida whips Miami 14-0. Ferguson did it single-handedly." May 25, 1942, Fergie had also earned his Bachelor's of Arts degree in Education from the University of Florida. If it had not been 1942, a different path may have opened up for Fergie. He would have been a prime candidate for a professional National Football League draft. But because the United States was at war, Fergie willingly took the path of enlisting in the United States Army. In June, he reported to the 318th Field Artillery Battery, 81st Division. He had the basic military training, but the Army also wanted Fergie on the Army All-Stars football team. That team played the professionals of the NFL teams all across the country. His coach was Wallace Wade. In Fergie's travels, he met many celebrities, such as actress Linda Darnell. He was also at the Rose Bowl in California. After the Army football season, Fergie attended Officer Candidate School and became a second lieutenant by July 1943. Stuart's golden boy continued to shine, and he was always welcomed back to cheering crowds on his furlough visits to Stuart. His parents and siblings were also very proud of Fergie. Brother Wilbert finished school and went into the military. He then married Kathleen Bullard in 1943, and in the next few years they had two daughters, Kay Frances and Deborah Ann. In late 1943, Fergie was sent to England to finish training for the upcoming D-Day invasion. Even while training in England, he played on the 29th Infantry Division Blues football team. They beat every team they played. There were parades of the American soldiers through the streets of London. During one of those parades that Fergie was in, he wanted to reassure the English citizens. As he marched, he could be heard yelling, "Englishmen, never fear! Fergie Ferguson is here!" As Operation Overlord, D-Day, approached to push the Germans out of France, the troops marched to the loading docks. Ships and transports were loaded. England had three beaches to land on the Normandy coast of France. The United States had 3 beaches and Canada 1 beach. It was June 6, 1944. Fergie had hoped to be in the first wave of Americans onto the coast, but had been reassigned back in May to be with the second wave. The Americans came at low tide, 6 a.m., onto one of the beaches, Omaha Beach. With so much beach area to cross, they were exposed to unending German firebombs and artillery. It became known as the Suicide Wave. Soldiers trying to come on shore were exposed to countless rounds of German gunfire. U.S. Army Lieutenant General Omar Bradley was watching on a ship offshore. He knew it looked hopeless and was about to call the invasion off. He then observed Lieutenant Ferguson and his men entering the beach as the second wave. Fergie knew it was a dangerous situation. He rigged a long pipe-like bomb of explosive charges. He went with other soldiers to the barbed wire fortification. He inserted the Bangalore torpedo. Next, an explosion. An opening was created. Fergie directed his men to move forward, off the beach. General Bradley witnessed this and sent in reinforcements. The tide of the invasion was turning. Suddenly, Fergie was struck by shrapnel in his head and his leg. He was alive, but had to wait for the medics. Many wounded and dead Americans on Omaha Beach that day. If those scenes look familiar, they are from the opening of the 1998 movie Saving Private Ryan. Same battle scenes that Fergie and others faced. Actor Tom Hanks did those opening scenes, reenacting what Fergie had done. The Hanks character would go on to achieve other things throughout the movie. Not true for Fergie. He eventually was transported to an English hospital. He was unconscious there for 2 months. Later, he was transported to Atlanta, Georgia, to the Lawson VA hospital for additional surgery. For his bravery, Fergie was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross Medal on December 20th, 1944, and then made a first lieutenant. This is the second highest award given to a member of the United States Army. It is for extreme gallantry and risk of life in actual combat with an armed enemy force. It is a bronze cross with an eagle in the center and the inscription for valor. Only 5,000 were awarded during all of World War II. Fergie made the front page headlines of the Stuart News. He was discharged from the military on March 20th, 1945, and returned back to Stuart. Fergie was welcomed back to Stuart with open arms. All of the people in the county were proud of their golden boy. He was home to all the familiar places: downtown Stuart, Lighthouse Restaurant, the Lyric Theater. back home to his parents' house on Camden Avenue. The hospitals in 1944 could only do so much. He did have a metal plate in his head. He suffered from speech problems, and his movements were slow and difficult for him. His sister Aurora helped look after Fergie. All of Stuart was very respectful and assisted him whenever possible. Still physically a big fella, he did want to find something he could do. The American Legion State Conference honored him with a parade in May of 1946 held in West Palm Beach. He was accompanied by the Stuart High School Band. A big opportunity came in 1946 when a semi-pro veterans football team for Stuart was created. He served as their coach. That was the one skill he retained: football plays. The Stuart team of veterans had 2 good winning seasons. There were good days and bad days for Fergie related to his health. By 1950, he did become the coaching consultant for the Stuart High School football team, though. He was always calm and very laid back with the students. He loved his family also, especially his 2 young nieces, Kay and Deborah. Tragically, Fergie's father passed away in August of 1952. For some much-needed family time, Fergie, his mom, and sister Aurora went on a 2-month cross-country road trip in May of '53. Fergie really enjoyed seeing New Mexico and Arizona. By late 1953 and back home, Fergie developed a brain infection. He also got the flu and had to be admitted to the VA hospital in Coral Gables in Dade County. On January 7, 1954, he lapsed into a coma at the hospital. His mother, Aurora, and Wilbur stayed by his side. Fergie died May 15, 1954. As was stated by his family and friends, Fergie never complained. His body was brought back by train from Miami to Stuart. Aurora was devastated by Fergie's passing. It was said that a vast sadness in her heart never left her. This same sadness was felt all over Martin County. All businesses closed on May 20th during Fergie's funeral service, which was held at the Stuart Baptist Church. The church was filled with mourners, and then another 150 people standing outside. The military funeral and burial was conducted at All Saints Cemetery in Jensen Beach. The Harold Johns American Legion Post 62 conducted the services. With Fergie's passing, the University of Florida remembered its hero alumni. A special award has been given every year to a senior UF football player who displays outstanding leadership, character, and courage. This first one was awarded then in 1955. Other honors included Fergie's name being placed in the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Fergie has been the only athlete from Martin County. Over the years, the Ferguson family has carried on. Fergie's mother died in 1980, brother Wilbur in 1987, and sister Aurora died in 2009. As the decades went by, Fergie was not forgotten in Martin County. A new award, the Fergie Ferguson County Football Championship Trophy, was started in 2013. Jensen Beach High School was the first winner of that trophy. The high school in Martin County with the most wins in a season had been awarded the trophy. In 2014, the city of Stuart decided to rename the majestic white bandstand in Gazebo Park after Fergie. Memorial Day 2015 was the dedication of that plaque and the renaming officially of the bandstand. In attendance that day were Fergie's two nieces, Deborah and Kay, who came from their home in Mississippi. They spoke of their pride of their uncle and how pleased they were Stuart was honoring him. The bronze plaque showed the city seal and an image of the Distinguished Service Cross Medal. It proved to be a very special day to remember a local hero. The plaque is embedded in a large stone in front of the bandstand. Joining the nieces were Joe Crankshaw, Alice Luckhardt, and Bob D'Angelo. On Camden today, the former Ferguson home still stands. Another remembrance of Fergie is a book written in 2015 by Bob D'Angelo. With detailed research, especially covering Fergie's football achievements and his war experiences, are all found in this book by Bob. Former sports reporter for the Stuart News, Bob now lives in Tampa. This June 2019 marks Fergie's 100th birthday anniversary. June 6 marks the 75th anniversary of D-Day, and May 2019 marks the 65th anniversary of Fergie's death. If he is remembered, Fergie lives forever.